right. I just thought of something I wanted to comment on,
All right.
About 2 or 3 nights ago, right after the news, I tend to watch the evening news, the nightly news, quite often. The one that's 11 o'clock. The one, and the show that comes on right afterward, I turn that off. You know, the first, the other night it came on, and the first thing they practically started doing was making fun of God and the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. You know,
Yeah.
I just looking above the few scriptures above where we turn to, and I ran across this. This is wherefore I say unto you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven unto men, but the blasphemy against the Holy Ghost shall not be forgiven unto men.
Right.
And whosoever speaketh a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him. But whosoever speaketh against the Holy Ghost, it shall not be forgiven him, neither in this world or in the world to come,
That's eternal.
Yes.
That other world come is eternity.
Yes. Do
and
they?
All people think down here, when they're dead, that's all of it. No,
Yeah.
that's the beginning.
Yes.
All.
That's right. And this also proves,
You would believe it. My church ringing wet with sweat.
Is it?
It is.
Well, it's a little warm here too, so. This shows me how serious God takes our mouth, and what we say.
And I don't like to be around people that every time they open their mouth is a curse word.
I know.
I've had to work around a few of them, but I didn't enjoy it.
Neither did I, really,
To make a living.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to say this, but I will. One time I was working this job, and the one that was a helper, he cursed so bad, and every time and one of the managers, the main manager, he'd be cursing so bad when he come around, you couldn't hardly talk to him. One curse word after another.
Yes.
And I told my helper, I said, I'm going to get away from this job.
Yes.
I can't person any longer. He said, how you going to? I said, there's either pay a job coming up for bid. I'm going to bid on that job. They'd pay 10 or 15 cents more on the hour than the job I had.
Yeah.
He said, you won't get it. I said, I may not, but I'm going to bid on it.
Yeah.
And I went out the door that night. Beside the time clock where you punch it out.
Yeah.
That card up there was the bid on that job. I put my name on it.
Yeah.
I went back that night, coming night, evening, I went to the other job.
Well, that's something.
And all I'm doing, picking up the doors and looking over, grading them, laying them back down.
Yeah.
That was my new job.
Well.
And I told him, I said, I told you I was going to get off that job. I said, the Lord got me off of it.
Yeah.
Because he knew I was part of that cursing.
Yes.
And another night, I'll let you go after this.
It's all right.
And another night, I was on my machine running. What I do is running doors. I run the machine, it squared and trimmed and put the pattern on the doors on the four sides. And always back to the front door where we went in at, There's a boy asked me a question about the thief on the cross.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, I never had done this before. I put my machine on idle.
Well,
I left my machine. I went all the way back there to the front door and listened to that boy about that. And the boss, my floor boss, he came back in out of the front door, walked straight up past me. It wasn't 10 foot from me and never did see me.
well,
And when I got through, when I got through with it to him, I just walked back up there, went back to working the machine like I'd never left it.
uh-huh.
And it wasn't long after that, my boss man had been running around with another man's wife, and a man caught him, shot him in the face with a shotgun, and he just lived a few days after that.
Well,
I tell you, things don't pay off.
that's right.
I don't know what kind of man he was. And I didn't even know he's that kind of a man until I found out.
Yes.
White Jasper, and he didn't live too far from my brother's house.
Well,
Maybe 2 or 3 miles down the road from where my brother lived.
yes.
And him and his wife and family knew him. They didn't know he was doing stuff like that.
That's something.
But you don't hide things from the Lord.
That's right.
Somehow you'll get stopped or you'll get paid. You pay off.
Yes.
And the Lord knows how to stop a person.
Yes.
And I think he stopped a lot before he went too far.
Yes.
I think a lot's been called off.
Yeah.
Called away because he called them away from making the last mistake
Yes.
and give them another chance.
Yes.
But how many rejected it still?
Yes.
It's a sad thing to think about, but I
really
think it's
is.
happened.
Yes.
So I'll say good night. God bless you. I'll go get me a snack before I go to bed.
All right.
It won't be too long, I don't guess. And I laid down for a little while this evening. When I laid down, it wasn't 5 minutes, my back popped.
Yes.
I've learned
Something.
if I lay down a little while, my back popped 2 or 3 times,
Well,
then I'll begin to relax in my legs and my back.
yeah. You know, it's sad to think that Christians probably laughed at that, you know?
Probably.
You know, they probably kept right on watching that show. And
Probably did.
I said to myself, I'm not going to sit here and watch them blaspheme like that, you know?
Right. If it's the president, I ain't gonna listen to him blaspheme.
Yeah.
And I don't hear much of the news.
Yeah.
I might listen to a thing or two, but I don't go into the rest of it. Too much there. Too much lying.
Yes.
We have to hear enough of it every day, let alone sitting and adding more to it.
Yes. A lot of these TV channels, they got too much time on their hands, you know?
Right. And we're supposed to be having free speech on the Facebook, but it ain't.
That's right.
It might be some for the rich, but it ain't for us.
That's right, you know?
I wonder if some of the others that's come on here, are they going to discontinue their videos?
Yeah, I think they are. I don't
But
think...
there's one in particular I like to listen to once in a while.
Yeah.
But I listen carefully. It don't line up with what I'm reading now, like King James. I ain't gonna listen much to it
Yes,
because she listened too much to it. Some of it get it into her mind.
that's right.
That's why you can't go on and listen to the same old bad thing every time. You pick up on some of it.
Yes,
Oh, good Lord's will. We'll be back here, the Lord's will. Tomorrow we'll get in verse chapter 7.
yeah, sure hope so.
I hope so too.
Yeah,
And I think that we get through Easter,
yeah.
we'll go in. We may sign off of this and go into Peter, First
Oh,
and Second Peter,
all right.
then come to Matthew.
Yes,
And there's some other scriptures and old scriptures I want us to go through too.
yes,
If we can't learn nothing from them old prophets back then, we ain't gonna learn nothing today.
that's right.
That's right. For that's all witness to what's going on today.
Yes,
And God didn't do anything without a witness.
yeah.
Yeah. So good night
Well,
and God bless you.
good night. God bless you too. Anyway, if you're still with me, today's date is it's the 5th of April, 2025, and we're going through the book of Luke. And the next chapter we're going to start is chapter 7. So, good night. God bless. And if you're watching during the daytime, have you a good day.